You are now listening to the voice of horror.
Lock your doors, bolt your windows, and turn off the lights. Make sure the kids are safe at home, cause you're headed to the Nightwatch zone.
Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, Slasher Movie Club on a Monday night. Coriander's with me, of course. And we are going to be talking about Wrong Turn from 2003. And
Yep.
listen, let me just say, this is a movie that I hadn't seen in years. And I was
Same.
so glad that we got a chance to talk about this. Seriously, it was one of those
Yeah.
movies that all of a sudden it was kind of like, oh, it just came on board and like, bam, let's talk about it. It's from 2003. It's directed by Rob Schmidt and written by Adam McElroy. It has a lot of great actors in it, up and comers at the time. Obviously, Liza Dushku in the beginning, and also throughout the whole movie was just absolutely amazing. And it's one of those movies that I think kind of flew under the radar when it first came out, but now, years later, we get a chance to talk about it. 20 years later, this is absolutely crazy to think it's been 20 years since this movie has come out.
Right. Just let's
Yeah.
not talk about that.
Right? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But Coriander, what
Mm.
what what do you have for initial thoughts? We want to talk a little bit about the movie, but we also want to talk about the kills and all those types of things. What's your initial thoughts on this movie?
This was, a fun movie. You're out in the wilderness. You run into this
That's
crazy
putting it lightly.
family. Yes, right.
Look at
And
that.
I know, I know. At certain points in this movie, it's like, oh my God, they're never gonna be found,
Right,
But
right. Look at I
yeah,
mean,
it's
this is in the we had a watch party for it last night. I'm sorry. I just want to say this
Mhm.
real quick. We had a watch party for it last night with channel members, and it was so much fun. But look at this. This place is in the middle of nowhere. This place
Yeah.
is in the middle where there is no history. I don't know why you would ever want to go in a place like this. But anyways, you're right. They're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. But it's a fun movie. And
It is.
yeah, I'm glad I rewatched it and I'm glad, I have a physical copy. So, oops, did I say that? So I guess that gives away the ending. But no.
What, did you have a physical copy of it?
Well, because you're right. Yeah,
Well, yeah,
no.
but we haven't gotten to that point yet, so it wasn't giving away anything. But real
Yeah.
quick, we got Ronan in the chat. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well.
Hey.
We got Val, we got Nathan.
Oh.
Good to see you guys. Just giving a blanket hello to everyone. Jose's in the chat. What's going on? Sam, what's up?
Nice.
I missed the live stream last night. Yeah, man. It was a good one. It was a really good one. Neil's in the chat. What's up, Neil? Good to see you
Hey.
too, man. Hope you're doing well. All right. Let's see. Who else do we have in here? Philip. What's up, Philip? We got Chris in the chat.
Nice.
Good to see all of
Hello.
you guys. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already. It helps to support the channel. Let me just also throw a couple more things out, man. They're in the middle of nowhere. It starts off with these two that are rock climbing. So I thought that
Yep.
that was an interesting way to start the movie because it has weight to what's going to happen, but at the same time, it takes you out of it a little bit because you're thinking, okay, what are these guys going to do? Listen, man,
Mm-hmm.
the look on her face says it all. You should not be rock climbing, and especially in the middle of God knows where. It's
Yeah.
just not. It's not going to end up good. It's not, and
Mm-mm.
it doesn't. It doesn't, man. But they're in the backwoods of West Virginia, which it's beautiful. It's beautiful out there.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Why? Why? Um,
Yeah.
The
Just
thing
think how
I
haunted that place is.
It could
Just
be very,
saying.
very it could be very, very haunted, man.
Yeah.
I won't deny that. I won't deny that. It could be very haunted. It's a bunch of woods, man. I'm really, really, you know how I am about that. But, um, look, the cast is really, really cool. Desmond and
Hmm.
Harrington as Chris, I thought that he was a really, really good character. This is
Yeah.
basically showing why these folks are in the backwoods. He's on a business trip. He stops at a gas
Yeah.
station. It's absolutely ridiculous because he gets no help whatsoever. I mean, look, the look on his face tells you everything you need to know about this gas
Not
station.
only that, but he should have just stayed on the highway and not
Yes,
tried to, go off the road and find
that's right.
another alternate way, because
That's right.
that's what screwed him.
Yeah, he was trying to find a quicker way because there was so much traffic, and this is what happens when you try to take
Hmm.
bad shortcuts. You screw up your amazing looking car. That's what
Not
happened.
only that, yeah, texting and driving because he wasn't paying attention.
Well, he saw that dead animal on the side of the road.
Right. But I'm just saying,
Yeah,
whatever. He was distracted
right.
driving, and there
That's
you
right.
go.
That's
So,
right, man. And so then you have the rest of the cast and crew, and
hmm.
they're like, "What the hell, man? What the hell?" I'm just joking. They make sure he's okay and so forth. But it's it's a really cool cast, and of course, you've got Eliza, who turns out to be not only a really cool character, but very smart. There was different levels of intelligence in this movie. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but to me, it
Oh
was
yeah.
different levels. And she definitely was a smart character through and through. And I really appreciated that. But both of their vehicles are disabled. So that kind of sets up
Hmm.
this whole thing why they have to kind of walk out in the woods in the first place. What did you think at this point of the story with these two hanging back and the others trying to get some help? When you
Yeah.
first saw this movie, what were your thoughts at this point?
For these two, never a good idea. You want to
That's right.
smoke a friggin' joint, stay back from the group and puff puff and, just be a little slower. But no way, I wouldn't have stayed back. I would have stuck together.
That's right.
And yeah.
These 4 knew
So
what to do. They stuck together. They
at
they
first they knew what they were doing, but
well,
then as usual they have to make a stupid move. And
the whole thing was stupid from the beginning, but I get it. In a horror movie, you have to put these people in this type of situation. They're trying to get help. And I will say that for the antagonists of the movie, they've got this thing covered. They got the ball game wrapped up. They know exactly how to set up the traps. They got the game plan. It's absolutely crazy. But real quick, let me just jump into the chat, and then we have a special guest we're going to bring on in a second here. Real quick, Neil was saying, when I see signs that say "Welcome to West Virginia," I turn around. I turn around. That's great.
I don't
Oh my
blame you.
god. Oh my god. Jose saying movies, a backwoods classic. I don't know what that remake was, but it wasn't this. Thoughts? Well, we might be talking about the remake coming up. There's a chance we'll be going into some of these because the franchise, it's a pretty big franchise. So we might talk a little bit more as we go on. But real quick, let's bring in our special guest. We got a knock at the door, and it is a friend of the channel, friend of the community. You guys all know him. Let's bring him in. It's Mr. Dan. What's up,
Nice.
man?
Hey, how are you?
Hello.
Thanks
How's
for
it
having
going?
me.
Good to have
Hey.
you. Yeah, it's been a
Appreciate it.
while.
And I'm closer to West Virginia than you guys, so
Yes, you
Yeah, you
are.
are.
I mean it's one state away. Into Pennsylvania and then make a left, and I'm in West Virginia.
That's right, man.
Damn. Stay away,
Too
stay
funny.
away.
You know what
Make
that
smart.
reminded me? You know what that reminded me of? The shot
What?
of the forest. It's like at
What?
the end of open water when they're in the ocean and you realize how fast
Hmm.
it is.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like so you wonder like how do these inbred cannibals have this hidden house, but
Right.
they're in the middle of
They
nowhere,
probably
really.
ate the owners of that house. That's how
Look
they
at
got that.
that, man. That's like
Right.
that's like a city. That's like a city itself.
Yeah.
And all it is trees.
Mhm.
trees and these mutant men. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Dan, had you seen this movie before we did this for Slasher
Oh
Movie
yeah,
Club?
yeah.
Okay.
I saw this soon after it came out. even I say this like all the time. Even my dad liked this, and he's not in the gory. He wasn't in the gory
Nice.
stuff at all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he knew Desmond Harrington from like Dexter and some other shows.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
that was always a draw for him. But yeah, I'd seen this before a couple times. It's been a while, and I just watched it last weekend. But yeah, I've always held this in very high regard. The first one, it's really solid. Obviously, it's very similar to The Hills Have Eyes in a different setting.
That's right.
But they do the setting right.
Yeah.
They really do. And you know, by the time you get to I think the fifth one, they're filming in Bulgaria and trying to make it look like an American town, and they just don't pull it off. This is like very authentic though.
Yeah. Well, you know, they had talked about that this was kind of their homage to The Hills Have Eyes and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you can see that. You can see that in the atmosphere. You can see that in the setting and all of that type of stuff. But I think they do a good job to kind of pave their own path with this movie because it does feel different, you know, or different enough, I should say. You know what I mean? And I think part of that is, and I was going to go back to you on this too, Coriander. These characters I thought were pretty good. You know, you really get into, you know, I mean, not a lot of character development. That's not what this movie is about, but just little moments where you get a little invested in these characters, like with these two. What was it, Carly and Scott? It's like, you know, they were kind of a cool little couple, and you know, talking about maybe getting married, and you know, don't use the word elope. You know, but I thought these two were pretty cool, and obviously with Scott, he was he had a lot of courage. Carly obviously was traumatized by this whole situation, but it was cool to see those different things in characters. You know what I'm saying? Dan, how about you? What did you think of these characters?
They were
pretty good.
You know, again, very familiar. You had the other couple that wanted to, as Coriander said, you know, they wanted to go right to the marijuana and the premarital sex, which is never a good idea in these movies.
That's right.
But then you had this couple, like the noble couple, sort of, you know, talking about getting married, which is also usually never a good thing.
Right. Don't talk about the future because it's not going to happen.
And but really, like, I mean, Jeremy Sisto, he's played a lot of jerks in his time, so this was a very really good role for him.
That's a good point.
Characters. Yeah, and right away you could tell like that the Eliza Dushku character was like just a very strong-willed woman. So you know, very solid characters.
Yeah, I think that for Desmond Harrington and Eliza, I think that number one, they were really good together. And it wasn't this whole romantic thing going on. They were just two people, you know, that were in the situation and worked together. It didn't have to be this whole thing where they were falling for each other or this romantic thing or whatever. And again, Desmond's character is Chris. I really thought he was awesome. And it's one of the few times I could think of, not to jump ahead, but obviously there are some survivors in this movie, and it's interesting to see, you know, a final group, let's say. Let's just say that for right now. But real quick, in the chat, Neil saying, when you watch this one, don't forget to stay for the mid-credit scene. That's right. Yep, you're right. Steven's in the chat. What's going on? From Craving Something Scary. Good to see you, man. And Steven said, hey guys, loved watching this movie for the first time last night with you, Knight, and Coriander. Yeah, man. It was a blast. It was a blast for you guys. If you guys are part of our Patreon or channel membership, we're planning to watch our Slasher Movie Club movies before we have our episodes on Mondays. So definitely consider joining us for that. If you want to become a channel member, hit the join button next to the subscribe button or check out our Patreon link. But it was fun, man. It was fun to watch it and so forth. But let's get more into the story here. They are figuring, okay, we got to make something happen. We have this fantastic kill scene, which came out of nowhere. I mean, listen, if you're going to sit there and smoke and fool around and then rummage through someone's car looking for CDs and stuff like that, you better keep a look behind you because this may happen. Coriander, what did you think of this kill scene? How they pulled it off?
Yeah, I mean, it
Poor
was rough.
Francine.
Yeah. You know, But apparently, she likes things in her mouth. So there you go. No.
Coriander.
Oh man. I
But
tell
yeah.
you. What'd you think of it, Dan?
Oh, coriander. Yeah, no, no, it was very solid. Great build up, and yeah, I mean, first of all, you're in bear country also, so why the I
Good
would
point.
be terrified. I'd be terrified. Take away the
Right.
cannibals, I'd be like looking around my shoulder, looking over my shoulder every 2 minutes. But
That's
yeah,
right.
it really established, and like we kind of knew from the opening victims that these guys are they're pretty ruthless, and
Yes.
they're just brutal. And this
Yeah.
really established that. I mean, he just basically, right in the mouth, lifted her right off her feet.
Yeah,
She
man.
she didn't stand a chance.
She didn't, man. It was
No.
that quick, man. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was really, really messed up. But it was a great kill in the way that it was set up, So again, you're getting multiple things in this movie, with the gore and the setup and having these antagonists that really, like you said, they don't play around. They're very capable. So it amps up the tension for me, But we've got our final four basically, who are trying to figure out how to get out of the situation, to get some help. They see a campsite. You don't stop at a campsite. They see this house with this like mini car mall. It's like, this is bad news, bro. Nobody has that many vehicles that are all tattered and screwed up like that. Look at this. This is like the worst place on earth to go. It really, really
Let
is.
alone go into.
Yeah,
Hell no.
boy. Yeah, boy. But at the same time, watching it, movie logic wise, I get
it. But that
They're
chick was like, "Oh, I gotta pee." It's like, bitch, pee in the bushes. I wouldn't go in there and piss. Oh my
That's right.
God.
That's right.
I
But they
would
go
build
in.
my own. I would build an outhouse before I went in there.
Do
Dan,
that. Just dig a hole, do your business, and bury it.
he's like, give me a moment. I got some building to do.
Yeah.
So look, guys, they get stuck in there because the mutant men come back. And so you have this fantastic scene where they have to be on the floor hiding out. You've got two of them, you got Chris and Jesse, they're hiding out, and they see Francine's body just thrown right there. And it's like, this was a great scene in the movie, man, because there's so much tension. Again, shout out to Desmond and Eliza, because they sold this scene so well. If you just look at the look on Chris's face there, because he has to be quiet, he's totally grossed out, and Eliza as well. It was a great scene. They really stretched out the tension of this for like a good couple of minutes. I thought it was very effective. Dan, what'd you think of this scene? Because I thought it was so damn good.
Yeah, no, it was really solid. There's a lot of really, really good suspenseful like set pieces in this movie. Rob Schmidt did a really good job with that. So it's not just like kill.
Right.
And this is really solid. Just to be trapped in there, in that, on the floor, and and then they try to make their escape when these cannibals are sleeping, and it's just you just know it's not going to be perfect.
Right. Coriander, how about you? And of course, the other thing is that you've got the other two that are hiding out, and they can't do anything either. So you see Carly and Scott. Scott's like, "Shut up, Carly," and hold their mouth and stuff. Because granted, when we did the watch party, we were all like, "This lady, she's not built for this. She's basically dead weight." Not to sound mean, but she is.
You're
But
seeing your friend getting chopped up.
Right.
That's what I was gonna expect. Yeah,
right.
man.
That's what I was gonna say, is that it is realistic, because some people do freak out like that, man. But Coriander, what did you think of the scene with Francine and them having to hide underneath the table and stuff?
It was good, for me. Maybe it just spent a couple minutes too long.
Okay.
But besides that, it was a good scene. Once they finally crawled out and made their way out. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. They held on to the tension even more, because then once they are leaving,
it's like, not only that, it's like when you're quiet, you want to look at where you're walking, where you're stepping, what's around you. Because you don't want to, like she did, bump into shit. It's like figures, it's like, oh my God.
Right. Well,
That part was
fortunately,
like, what the hell?
yeah, I mean, it seems as though it didn't wake him up, but I thought that this
Right.
part right here, where he has to hold, and we all know this when you have a screen door,
Mm.
them damn springs, they always make noise. And this house has so much rust on it in every
Mhm.
corner that thing must have been loud as hell. So I thought it was pretty cool for them to pay attention to a small detail like that, where he has to hold the spring, his hand is getting all cut up and stuff. It was a great scene, man. But
This is when you
it,
keep that, what is it, that oil, that no,
WD-40.
yeah, man.
That's right.
Keep a little
That's
bit with
right.
you and grease that shit up, and there
That's
you go.
that's right. It was a great scene of tension, and then they did
Yeah.
escape, but they woke up. The guy woke up, had his gun, so they're booking it. They're hightailing it out of there, which is smart. And then we get into some really cool stuff. But before we get to that, real quick, Neil was saying the tension in that scene is next level. I so agree with you,
Yeah.
man. It really
Yep.
is. Hey, what's up? Denisha's in the chat. Good to see you, Denisha.
Hello.
And Stephen says, if you're not a channel member, what are you doing? That's right. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. Seriously. So Dan, let's go through this, man. They escape out of there, and you're thinking, me, when we were doing the watch party for it, man, the thing I kept saying was, okay, so now you're gone out of the house. You have two of the greatest weapons that God has given you, and that's your feet. So run, bitch, run. And of course, we see that
Mhm.
there's some obstacles in their way. What did you think of how this scene played out when they're running, and they see the little auto mall? This is the used section of the auto mall right here.
Right. Yeah. That's the first generation of victims' vehicles.
Damn.
That's when you realize, oh man.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because they must have been putting it together in their heads, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like all these cars represented a meal for these guys.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, you got to just keep going, but it's so hard because these guys, they know the whole area,
Right.
and they're just it's just like their environment. So you're at such a disadvantage. And of course, as we find out, they've got some pretty good weaponry with them too.
Yes. Holy crap, they do. They're literally they're like friggin' Craven the Hunter times 3.
Yeah.
They've got everything at their disposal. They know the land. They've got traps. But let me just again give a little shout out to Chris, because he's like, you know what? One of us have to take one for the team and be the bait. I'll be the bait. He starts running,
Mhm.
trying to get their attention so the others can run. And
Yeah.
unfortunately for him, he gets shot in the leg, so he's hobbled a little bit. He gets through it, but this scene was a lot of tension, man, because now they have to split up. You've got the others in the car, and to me, I thought to myself, maybe they can get away because they're in a vehicle. You've got Scott that runs the other way, and so it's a good plan. Coriander, do you think at this point it was a good plan that they were trying?
You know, I don't think it was smart. I think Scott should have just stayed with that group and
Yeah.
they all should have just hauled ass.
Yeah.
And I think, it would have been a better outcome for him, but
Yeah.
he did what he did, and
He did, man. 3
He was
arrows in the back, bro.
yeah,
Brutal.
man. And those are thick arrows. It's not like they're tiny little things. Those are thick.
Those are
Well,
they're like medieval arrows. I mean,
yes.
Right.
Yes. And not only that, man, but give some credit, man. This is like archery 101, man. This is look at the bullseye there.
Yeah.
That's championship archery right there.
You got to figure these guys, he probably made the bow and the arrows himself.
Yeah.
True.
When he doesn't have humans to eat, he's out hunting.
That's right.
These guys are almost like I said, medieval. I mean, they're not watching TV or surfing the internet. That's what they're doing all day long. So
that's right. That was right.
Yeah.
And again, to me, with these two, with Eliza and Desmond playing these two characters, they had so many great moments. Look, I mean, in this image right here, obviously Scott's dead. Carly is freaking out, and Chris just pulls her, into him, just basically saying, don't look. We got to. And so I guess what I'm saying, and I know I'm kind of jumping ahead here, but with these two characters, with Chris and with Jesse, they were kind of like the two sides of the same coin. They were very strong-willed and kind of just making it through this, just trying their best to get through it. I think it was so cool that you usually don't see that, like a man and a woman in the same horror movie that both get that final person spotlight, but they're not romantically involved. They're not, you know what I'm saying? They're both they're just regular characters just working together, and I thought that that's what makes this movie
Who knows
very
at the end,
interesting.
though, with the whole romantically involved?
Well, I'm talking about with the movie. I'm just saying in the movie, usually you would have seen them being involved and, trying to be together and this and that. It's like they were just working together. I'm sure, there was a mutual like, hey, you're pretty cool. But in the movie, they were just put as two people. And I thought
Survival mode. Who cares about getting lucky? It's all about surviving.
That's right, man. That's right. So they got to drive off, man. You see the mutant men, they carry off Thanksgiving dinner here. And it's like, oh my gosh, man.
And Christmas.
Steven was so funny in the watch party because he kept making the parallels to Barbarian. He says, one of the mutant men, he says, was that a little grandma? Is it, looking for a new baby? I love it, man. We had fun, man. But anyways, now it's time to, let's get out of here. We're on our own. We've got the opportunity and let's go. And look, man, if you see a watchtower in the middle of nowhere.
This scene was kind of irritating too, though.
All right, well, tell me what you think. Because look at that. They're looking out into the abyss. There's nothing around them. What did you think of this scene, Coriander? Why did it bother you?
Because they should have, they're using these flares that light the room up. Of course, that's gonna, whoever is outside, you're gonna see that miles away. Well, maybe not miles, but you'll see it exactly. And you could see that they could have shut something so they could at least close that off, so they had more of a chance of not being seen.
Right.
So it's too bad that the doctor, who's pretty smart, and the chick who's quite the survivalist or whatever, didn't think of that. So
right. Yeah, because that's the only place to go to at this point. You know what I mean? And it's
I don't
so
know.
high
Screw
up.
that. I don't care, but I would have kept fucking going. I'm sorry.
Well, what I mean is that's a place where the cannibals would definitely say, okay, well, let's see if they went here, because there's nothing else anywhere around there. But I agree. What I would have done, and then Dan, I'll let you chime in. What I would have done is just one of us climb up there, do a quick look around, like, well, what do we got? Do we need supplies?
Call on the CB or whatever.
Right. They used the radio, which was smart, but I would have went up there real quick, done my stuff, and then kept going. You know what I mean? What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I thought it was a clever part of the story, because it's a risk reward thing. It's like you kind of dangle it in front of them, and it's like, like Coriander said, is it worth it? First of all, I'm terrified of heights. I probably would have fallen and killed myself, and then they would have eaten me. And they didn't actually know there was a CB radio up until they got up there.
That's right.
So but I don't know. Maybe I mean, you also don't want to really split up. That didn't work. That hasn't worked yet. But and again, they're not thinking clearly. But even if somebody went up there, lit the place up and then came down and they started running, it would be almost like a decoy, a diversion.
Yeah.
But that's just not what, they just didn't think that way. So
that's right.
But the inclusion of it, I mean, it's obviously they have fire towers in that part of the country.
Right.
So the inclusion of it was smart, because it's like they dangle like this false hope in front of them,
Right. Which was a good thing, because again, man, you'd have to think there's something out there, some sense of civilization or whatever. So this was it. Chuck was saying, as much as I like the movie, I've seen and loved Wrong Turn 2. All right. Very, very
I haven't seen the second one.
Yeah,
I haven't seen anything beyond this.
Yeah, we might talk about that one. We will see. But like you said, Coriander, they're lighting up the sky, and they're basically ringing the dinner bell. That's what they're doing in that watchtower. They're basically like, come and get it. And sure as hell, boom, you got the mutant men, they're coming, and they've got their torches and everything. The first thing I'm thinking when I first saw this movie is they're gonna light this thing up. And sure enough, that's what they do. And I gotta give credit to Carly for a moment, because again, Emmanuel Shrikri, I believe that's how you pronounce her last name. I could be wrong, but she was really traumatized at this point in the movie, And so she had, kind of a similar beat. But this was a cool scene because she's like, look, I don't want to burn alive. I'm jumping. You know what I mean? So she was ready to go. She was ready to pull a Trish from Friday 4. I always give respect to characters. They're like, I just got to jump. I'll take my chances. And so you got this scene where the whole idea is, can they survive and get out of here? It reminded me of friggin' First Blood, and they just figured the jump, but they all jumped. And it was a really cool thing because now they're in the trees, and the question is, can they get out of there? Coriander, what did you think of that scene? As far as I know, you would have jumped if you were in this situation, right?
Oh God, yeah, because who wants to burn alive, man?
That's right.
You're lucky, catching on a branch, and like I said, that dark-haired chick, the
Carly?
survival girl, yeah,
Jesse.
yeah. I'm surprised, like when she jumped and the way she landed, that she was actually able to like grip onto a branch because that was hard. She probably busted up a couple ribs doing that, and holy crap,
it did look
that
painful.
looked rough. Yeah,
no doubt. Real quick too in the chat, hey, look who's here! It's Trenchy.
Hey,
What's up?
wow, nice to see you. Nice.
I haven't seen you so long, bro. Hope you're doing good.
I
Saying,
know.
hey, what's up? Trenchy is old school, like
man, from the beginning, from the beginning.
Yes.
That's so cool.
And he's saying wrong turn is awesome. It is, man. It really is.
Yep.
Wow, man. Hope you're doing well. Wish you could have done the watch party with us. We did that last night. It was really, really good. Man. But good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Let us know how you're doing, man. Miss talking to you.
Right.
Neil saying her last name is pronounced Shrieky. All right. Thank you, Neil. Thank you. It is an interesting last name, but I thought she was really, really good in this. But speaking of her, this doesn't end too well, but it is such an amazing kill scene. She's on a branch, and there it is right there. Now, first of all, can I just say something? These mutant men, they are literally ninjas. I mean, they
know how to hunt. They're hunters. They're born hunters. They know what they're doing, man.
They are ready for the end of the world.
Yeah, think about it. They tracked them.
They did.
I mean, hell yeah.
They did, man. So you've got one of them right behind her with the axe, and then boom. This was such a great kill scene. This was the kill scene of the movie, in my opinion, because not only did he throw the axe to her right there, but then what they showed next. Dan, take me through this kill scene, your thoughts on it, and so forth.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm afraid of heights. So walking across those branches, like horizontally like that, oh my gosh, it's terrifying. And so that's what I'm thinking of. How terrifying that is. And then I can't remember who's the little guy. I forget his name, his nickname. The climber.
Three Finger.
Okay, yeah. Three Finger is climbing up there, but even still, when it actually happened, it was shocking. Like surprising. Yeah,
man. It was really good because you see her get the axe to her, but the next thing that they show is a close up of her eye, and then it pans downwards, and you realize
you see her body falling.
Yeah, like her head is still there, but the rest of her body from her mouth down just falls, and it's hitting branches and all that shit. It's like, what a creative kill, man. And again,
it was good.
In horror movies, if you can get to a point where you do creative kills, you're doing pretty damn good, man. It was a great kill. Jason's in the chat. What's up, Jason? Good to see you, brother, from Backtrack Cinema. Trenchy is saying he's good. Thanks. How are you guys? Man, we're doing good, man. We're doing good, man. We miss having you in the streams, bro.
I know.
Yeah, man. Seriously.
Yeah.
Hope that we can see more of you, man. Miss seeing you and having conversations and all that stuff, brother. Seriously. Yeah. Neil saying she has the best kill scene, in my opinion. I absolutely agree with that. I really do. And again, this movie's working on different levels because I think I really like the characters in this movie because she gets killed. And again, Chris has that moment where he's like, just hold on, just hold on. So Desmond and Eliza, again, very, very charismatic final couple not really couple, but final duo, I'll say.
Yeah.
And you could just see the anguish. I mean, seeing someone get killed like that is crazy. But again, these two were great characters, and just even the physicality, the look on their faces, the look on Chris's face, the look on Jesse's face, it's really intense. But we get to the point where she starts to get stalked because, hey, look, you kill someone, you got to kill someone else. And this was a great scene too, because Chris is holding back this tree branch while he's coming after Jesse, and it's almost like it's like a bait. And I really loved it because they set him up good, man. And it's like bye bye Felicia. So anyways, some great stuff in the trees, man. Trenchy saying the characters in this one are actually good. I actually care about them. It's true, man. It is so true. Yeah. Nathan saying it's a great kill up on the tree. I agree. Trenchy saying, my bad, I'll try to stop by more. Just know even if I disappear for a while, I'll always come back. I love that, man. I love that. It's good to see you. It's good to see you, man. Seriously, it warms my heart. But unfortunately, Chris and Jesse, they get separated. They grab Jesse. Chris sees a cop. You got that moment where you're thinking, okay, this might be good, but maybe not. Coriander, what did you think of this scene?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they don't even realize that they're being tracked. They think they're like, I'm like, they don't know where we are. And the next thing you know, one of those huge ass arrows come through, and
that's right.
Yeah, bye-bye. Whatever you are, deputy, sheriff, whatever.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
Dan, what'd you think about the scene?
Yeah, we've seen that scenes like this before and since. They call for help. You get the false hope, and it's just yanked out from under you, man. These first responders in these horror movies, they pay a heavy price.
They do.
But this movie, it continues to do things, even though it's sort of following a formula. Everything is done so effectively. It's a great kill. Again, another nasty arrow shot. And look at that. Look at his back. Look at the back on this guy.
I know.
The makeup of these guys is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
It really is good. And it's almost like you get these fleeting glances. I didn't know if you were going to get into this later. Sorry, but
it's okay.
It's like you wish you could see more. But just the faces, and you don't want to really see what's under that shirt because he's probably got some ugly humps on there, but you kind of do just to see what it would look like.
Yes. I agree. Gina's in the chat too, saying I'm a Faith fan. Jesse kicks ass like I would. Yeah, there you go. You got Eliza, has had a lot of great roles. I wish I could see more of her in things like this, because I haven't really seen her in anything in a while. So
yeah, well, who knows? Her next film, The Alphabet Killers, was also made with Rob Schmidt.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, actually, it's his next film, and she's in it, and she plays a very good, sympathetic character in that. She's a detective that is coming back from like a mental breakdown.
Oh, nice.
It's I mean, it's worth it really just for that, but I think overall, if I remember, it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah. What year did that come out?
Soon after this. I think it was Rob Schmidt's next movie after this. Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to check that out. Yeah, man. Neil saying Sawtooth don't care about no stinking badges. That's right, man. I love it.
God.
What's up, Jason? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Neil saying I like Wrong Turn 2, but 3 has the worst CG in cinematic history. Wow, in cinematic history.
Well, Neil, I think I'm gonna stop after 2 if we go.
Neil, you have seen so many movies. That's a tall order right there, saying cinematic history, man. All right. Philip saying Wrong Turn 1, 2, 3, 4 are good. The others not good. All right. Trenchy saying Alphabet Killer is awesome, based off of a real serial killer that used to be active near my area. Ooh.
Interesting.
Wow. That's crazy, man. That was crazy. Yeah. So we have this situation. Sawtooth is taking the vehicle, and Chris does his best Indiana Jones, going underneath the truck and holding on to it. I really love that. And he has to go and save Jesse, man. And he made that choice, and I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it, because they're the only two left. So she's being held captive at the home base, which was like man, when I first saw this movie, I was thinking, man, this is going to be bad news for this chick. She's been good so far and smart in a lot of cases, but she is in the heart of darkness right here and
Yeah.
right now. But
she's gonna be the next baby mama.
well, she's probably going to be dinner, is what it's going to be, coriander.
I don't know. You think?
But Chris,
you think they'd want to
well, because he had the
make
knife
little
right up to
cannibal babies.
All right, he had the knife right up to her throat. He was about to kill her, and that's when Chris comes in with the vehicle and runs people over. You know?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
He's a hero, dude. Right?
Yeah, and they have the little showdown with the two of them, and look at that. Like you said, Dan, there's the makeup. Dan, what'd you think of this confrontation with these two?
Yeah, it's really solid. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Chris really he really manned up here. Just went, it wasn't a fancy plan. It was like the bulldozer approach, but they probably didn't expect that. It was very solid.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool, and they're helping each other, man. Jessie pulled her best Katniss imitation.
I wish she used something other than this bow and arrow. Honestly,
really?
Could she ever? Yeah.
Well, but
I'm just saying
she was far away from them. Chris was about to get killed.
I get it, but how many people are going to be that good where you're going to bullseye? You know what I mean?
She's a survival person.
Dude, so what? I could survive in the fucking wilderness, but would I be good with a bow and arrow? Probably not my first, 100 tries.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that was a little what?
Maybe. Steven, the baby. I love it. But this was an ending that I thought was really good because there was a lot going on. There was a lot of moments where it was like, okay, they're going to make it. Oh, maybe they're not. And then, of course, we see what they have to do. And it has a lot of, like you were saying, Dan, earlier, the Hills Have Eyes type of vibes going on. It's like they had to step up and become monstrous themselves to overcome the monsters. And at the end, basically blowing it up. That was a really, she was like,
smart.
Yeah, well, because they got up, they were still alive, and one thing to mention too, in the beginning of the movie, I like the opening credit scene because it has these images from newspapers. It really makes it feel really dark and dirty and gritty, and it talks about inbred cannibals, and they focus on a couple of things like the psychosis of it, but also inhuman strength, and stuff like that if you pay attention to it. So it's kind of like that plays out in the end because look, man, these guys got more lives than Chad in Scream 6, bro. It's like they get axed in the body and is still standing up, and he's like, I gotta just blow these guys up. Jesse's like, just shoot him. He's like, only got one shot left.
Yeah,
that's right. And he
did the right one.
That's
he used it well.
And then he got the hell out of Dodge, or I should say she did, because she drove him.
Yeah.
They go back to the gas station with the Pepto-Bismol guy, and he closes up shop because he's thinking it's the mutant men, when they're barreling down the road with the truck. And it's funny because Chris just grabs the map and he just walks back to the truck. Jesse's like, all right, let's just go. And look, they're driving off on a paved road in the middle of God knows where. And I hope they got enough gas.
Right. I was even thinking I would have at least gassed up.
That's right. Yeah, steal some gas or something, man.
But maybe they have jugs like that other vehicle had all those jugs.
Yeah,
could be. True. Yeah, good point. Hey, Carrie's in the chat. What's going on? Saying, hey, we had so much fun watching this last night. We did, man. It was a lot of fun. The commentary was hilarious, guys. Seriously, if you guys get a chance to watch these movies with us, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Carrie loves the Pepto-Bismol guy. That's what he was, man. He was drinking that stuff like it was Kool-Aid. It was crazy.
It's funny. I went to college in Western Pennsylvania. I was actually in the National Guard, and we drove out into the middle of nowhere on these trucks, and we saw a guy in a house like in the middle of nowhere sitting on his porch. He reminded me of that guy. He was chewing tobacco, and it was running all down his shirt.
Come on.
No, I mean, I'm serious. And he was all happy. He was waving at us like, "Oh, look at the army trucks." But I was like, man, this is some movie shit here. Like,
Dan was like, "We got to get out of here, man. I do not want to be a newspaper article."
Right, exactly.
Man. But look, man, here's the thing. All this happens, they get away. It's really, really cool. And of course, and Neil was talking about it earlier, you got to stay for the mid-credit scene, which you have. Man, like you said, these first responders, Dan, they don't get the best end of the deal here. Now, first of all, why are you going to this burned down house in the middle of the night alone? That's number one. Why is he
Well,
alone?
you got to think about it. Like you said, they're in the middle of nowhere. They're not going to have like a task force at hand.
They
Yeah.
need a task force. That's
Yeah.
what they need. Because there's no way I'm going out there alone. Look at him. He looks lonely. He needs a friend.
They
You
should
could
have a
tell.
dog, is what they should have, is a dog.
Yes, good
Yeah.
point. There's a good point. And then of course you got your boy, three finger behind him, just ready to just
Yeah,
hey,
man.
he's like, hey man, I've been through a lot today. I need some lunch. And you're it. You're it. And the guy turns around and it's just crazy because it's like Merry
Yeah, man.
Christmas. There
Wow.
it is, man.
Look at that
It was
face.
It was
I
a great
know.
ending. It was a great ending, man.
Yeah.
This movie did all right, man. Carrie says he's upset all the time because he's constantly on the lookout for those mountain people. That's probably true, man. He did have that look on his face, like he just had an existence that he was not happy about, man. He's like, all I got is this gas station and some Pepto Bismol. That's all I
Oh,
got.
jeez.
That's what he had. I'm serious. You
I
saw
don't. I can't
what?
remember. I don't know what he was. I don't know, dude.
Well,
Was he drinking shit?
It was Pepto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at him,
You don't know if that was Pepto. That could have
bro.
been, a
When he
Sinex or
listen,
something.
hey, well, that's even worse, man. But look, when he drank it, all you saw was that Pepto Bismol pink. That's all. Look at him.
Really? I don't know,
Yes,
dude. I
yes.
didn't pay, I guess,
Check,
too much attention to that.
check it out tonight. Put the DVD in and check it out. And you will be like, oh my God. Wow. Real quick too, Nightfall's in the chat. What's going on? Saying hello, fellow creatures of the night. What's going on, Nightfall? Good to
Ooh,
see you. One of our newer members of the channel.
nice.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Neil saying you have to watch Wrong Turn 2 for more of the Pepto guy.
Oh, man.
That's what he is. I gotta make that a clip. Carrie saying the pink liquid was dripping down his chin. It was. He was
I
just
think I do
happy.
remember shit dripping down his chin.
And it was Pepto Bismol. That's
Yeah.
what it is, man.
Yeah, Chicago,
Telling
whatever.
you. So look, guys, as always, we have to give this our little badge of honor system. But before we do that, it was a lot of great kills in this movie. And just to make sure that we keep track of all of them, let's go through the kill count. Here we go, guys. 10. 5 male, 3 female, 2 mutants.
Damn, just 2?
I'll be right back.
Yeah, you will. All right. Okay. So you're like, just 2? Yeah. Because he came back at the end with the axe.
But there were just 3 of them, I guess.
Yeah, it was 3 of
I
them.
thought there were like 4 or something.
No, you had One Eye, Sawtooth, and Three Finger. Those are the 3.
Yeah, I don't even know what their names were.
Yeah,
so.
they don't know their names either.
No.
I bet.
They just exist.
They just grunt.
Yeah,
exactly.
They do. So as we always do, guys, let's give this a score. With our badge system, we have got 4 badges, meaning that we think the film is excellent, that it's a must watch for you as a viewer, and also it'd be great to get it on physical media. We have 3 badges, meaning that we think it's good. We have 2, meaning that you could take a chance on it, take it or leave it. It's meh. And of course, we have the dreaded 1 badge, which means that it's dark territory, that it's not good, aka don't go in the woods alone, aka blood cult, aka good night, God bless, aka student bodies, and we could keep on going with some of our favorites in slasher movie club history. So anyways, Dan, we'll start with you. What do you want to give Wrong Turn?
Wrong Turn gets a 4.
Gets the 4.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, I don't even think about it. Gets a 4. It's just so well done. Even if some parts of it are kind of familiar, like I said, they took those ideas and they made their own unique film out of it. And it's not like a ripoff. It's there's some homages to other films in there, but it's very original. Just well done film all around. Fantastic makeup effects.
Yeah, agreed.
Really,
Well said.
not enough credit. It's and I think it's because it's Stan Winston Studios, and there's a whole list of people that were involved, and like, I guess the head guy, whoever that is, I looked him up earlier. I forgot his name. I guess he would get most of the credit, but you don't really hear people talk about the makeup effects in this film that much. And they're really, as you watch the sequels, you can tell. Then you get an appreciation for how good these are. Because some of the effects, the faces in the sequels, they're just not as good.
Yeah. This was one of the last films that Stan Winston had worked on before he passed away, man. And Stan Winston is an absolute legend and just amazing work. And like you said, Dan, you can see the care and the skill in it. I mean, just little things like that can really make a movie so much better. So big credit. And also the fact that, again, the cast, I thought, was fantastic. I mean, the cast got poison ivy because they were out there and got struck by poison ivy. Emmanuel, she dislocated her shoulder on the jump scene with the branches. Like, you could even hear her shoulder pop. So, and it was a lot of stuff going on in this movie that the cast put themselves all into. So credit to them. But Coriander, what are you going to give this for a score?
I am going to give it 3.
A 3. All right.
Yeah, it's good. It's a great movie. Yeah.
Okay. But not excellent.
Well, for me, it could have been a little shorter in places.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. For me, man, again, I hadn't seen this thing in years. Like years, easily over a decade. And I was pleasantly surprised. Sometimes when you watch a movie, the environment also makes a difference. So we watched it as a watch party, which was so much fun. So maybe that also kind of, paints a picture for me. But I got to give this one a 4 badges, man. I think it was excellent. You had characters that I thought were very, very cool. I enjoyed the characters. You had great kills. You had a great atmosphere and setting. You had some creepy ass moments with the homage to Texas Chainsaw Massacre and stuff like that. Plus, you had a final duo that kicks ass, man. I would have loved to see Chris and Jesse in more movies to after this. I know that's not realistic, but the fact that they were so good together, it was really interesting. And like I said, one of the few times I could think of a duo that were not.
They should be in like a Strangers flick.
Yeah, that would have been cool, man. Yeah, but I really enjoyed them together, man. So Denisha saying she had fun yesterday with the watch party. It was a lot of fun, man. Seriously. Marty's in the chat. Marty McFly saying Wrong Turn's amazing. All right. Carrie's going to give it a 4 because I have it on physical media and I love it. That's cool. Very cool, Carrie. Neil saying 4 bottles of Pepto for me.
All right.
Philip's going with 4. Steven says 4 arrows for me. You guys are all right.
Yeah, I think there were 4 arrows in the movie too.
Yes, you're right. Trenchy's going to give it a 4. It says definitely a 4. Awesome stuff, man. Carrie saying, yep, 4 severed ears. There you go. Chris saying, I give it a 4. Best of the franchise. And we've got Yin Yang Theory in the chat. What's going on? Saying, sorry for being late. How's it going, Night? It's going good. Welcome. And for you guys that had just joined in, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps to support us. And also, if you're not subscribed to Dan's channel, do that. Carrie or Val, if you could put the link in the chat, but I also have the link in the description, and go and check out Mr. Dan.
Thank you.
Ty's going to give it a 5 out of 4.
Whoa.
Wow, there you go. I love the math. So anyways, guys, that's all we have for Wrong Turn. It was really fun to reconnect with this film. I thought it was fantastic, and all of us here on the panel thought it was really, really cool. But let's talk about what we're going to be checking out for next week on Slasher Movie Club. And we will be holding a watch party for this movie to do together for all channel members and Patreon members. So again, if you're not a channel member, hit the join button next to the subscribe button, or join us on our Patreon. Our Patreon links in the description. Before we tell you what movie that is, we got our good friend Eric jumping in, saying just dropping in. Hope you're well. Wrong Turn is really good. I really like part 2 as well. See you all tomorrow night. All right, brother. We will for our verses. Yeah, man. It is really good. It's very, very good. Neil saying this one is the best of the franchise for me, but Wrong Turn 2 really ups the ante. All right. I do remember enjoying Wrong Turn 2. I do. So chances are we're going to talk about that. But next week will be a different movie. Next week, we are going to be watching Sick. And I can't wait because I have not seen Sick yet. It came out earlier in the year. Yeah. And so it's gonna be an interesting one. So that's what we're gonna be doing for Slasher Movie Club next week. We will be doing the watch party for it this weekend. So again, if you'd like to join us for an exclusive watch party, join us with the channel memberships. So I can't wait. This is gonna be really, really cool.
Nice.
All right. Well, we're going to get ready to head on out, guys. Leave us some comments. Let us know what you think about Wrong Turn, any favorite moments or anything like that. Don't forget to hit the like. It helps to support us. Make sure you go to Dan's channel and hit the subscribe button. Support him. And I knew these guys would say something. Neil says, I really like Sick. And yes, you're right, Steven. Kevin Williamson co-wrote it. And Steven says it's sick. That's right, man. But yeah, definitely make sure that you guys keep your eyes peeled for us. We'll be back tomorrow night and we'll be doing our Versus stream, which will be a lot of fun. So we will catch you guys later. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Nightwatch. Peace.
A chitch.